Hello everybody, you're watching Viva Loudoun live with Dan Sousa. We're a little bit late tonight. Um, Possibly it's because I was getting the brand new specs adjusted. Tonight I have the Clemson polo shirt on. A little bit about the shirt. You might ask me why am I wearing the Clemson shirt? Did I go to Clemson? I did not go to Clemson. But my son Cooper goes to Clemson, and so this shirt right here that I'm wearing, over here someplace, it's over here, to the side over here. It cost me about $30,000 for this shirt, so that's why I got to give a shout out to Clemson University. They have all of my money. So we have another show. Um, you're going to have to bear with me a little bit tonight. I've got the infamous head cold that's going around Ashburn. I think I picked it up at Stonebridge the other day while I was upstairs. I'd like to give a shout out to all the students there who possibly infected the Viva Loudoun Fox. Actually, that didn't sound right. Erase that part about the infection of the fox. We might be getting into all sort of tainted horse meat sort of thing. So we got a lot to talk about. Let's check it out and see what we're going to look at first. The first thing is we have breaking news. You know, when you had our show 2 weeks ago, we talked about Jared Van Aker, the new coach at Freedom High School. Football coach earlier. Reed Prosser was named football coach from Heritage. Two very good hires. And we now have another hire, Jason Allen, for Potomac Falls. So congratulations to Potomac Falls. They have named their new head football coach. What a great resume this guy has. If you go on Viva Loudoun right now, we put an article up this morning, Potomac Falls, to hire the Oscar Smith assistant, Jason Allen, as the new head coach. As the process works in Loudoun County, the AD, the principal, the school goes out, they do their interviews, they pick their man or woman, submit it to the school district so it can go through the proper channels, make sure that everything looks great. The school district then decides whether to approve it or not approve it. If they approve it, they put it on what's called a consent agenda. The consent agenda lists all the different classified and personnel issues that need to be approved officially by the school district at a board meeting. So once it's on the consent agenda, there's really no debate about it. It gets put out there. Tomorrow night at the Loudoun County School Board meeting, they will approve the consent agenda, and at that point, Jason Allen will be the new Oscar Smith head coach. We are on DMVSTREAM.COM. We're live, and we want to give a big shout out to the folks at DMV Stream. They've been covering a lot of the games this winter. They've just started up, just got over a month ago here. I can't wait to see what they do in the spring. So check it out, DMVSTREAM.COM. You can find all of the great high school games that are going on. There's all sorts of different shows they have. College, there's going to be shows on professional sports topics, and of course high school sports. We've got Viva Loudoun here, where we're going to cover 13 high schools in Viva, and other things are going on in Loudoun land, if you will. So a little bit more about Jason Allen. He's from Oscar Smith High School in Chesapeake. He's been there for 10 years. From what I can see in his resume, he's a dynamite guy. He's got he's a go-getter. He's coached a lot of positions. If you know about football, Virginia, Oscar Smith is a powerhouse. Their record during his tenure there is pretty incredible, and he's been there, like I said, for 10 years. Started at the JV level, coaching a bunch of different positions. He's been defensive coordinator on the varsity level. I think it's impressive that he's been leading their sort of off-season, the weight room workouts, the conditioning. Those are very important things. In high school, he was a great football player. He was a linebacker, played baseball. He went to Stony Brook College, Stony Brook University, and he played baseball and football in college. So that should tell you something about the type of person that he is. And I think it's also worth mentioning that at Stony Brook, he owned the highest GPA on the football team, something I like to see. And a nice little nugget that I pulled out from his college resume is at one point they asked him, what is your goal in life? And he said, I'd like to teach history and coach football and baseball at high school. And of course, he is now a history teacher. He coaches football. And you like to see it when someone has, found their dream. So it's a dream job. I hope it's a dream job. Potomac Falls, as we know, hasn't had a strong tradition in football, but in other sports, in boys basketball, they've had a great run. Over the years, they've had great runs in soccer. They've had great runs they had a golf state championship. They had wrestling teams that were phenomenal. Cross country has always been very good at that school. I'm probably leaving some sports out, but baseball, obviously Region 2 in baseball, and Joe Triango's been taking that baseball team to states on a regular basis now. And we're talking about Potomac Falls, so I guess we should talk about Jeff Haas and the Potomac Falls boys basketball team. Big shout out to Potomac Falls. They have won another region championship. It is their 4th straight Region 2 boys basketball championship, and that's pretty incredible if you think about it. I mean, 4 straight. When I first started covering this job with Viva Loudoun, I actually started out with Loudoun Prep Sports way back in the day, and it just, local teams just could never get to that state level. It was just very hard to do. Potomac Falls broke through on the boys' side. Freedom Girls and Loudoun County Girls broke through on the girls' side. And since then, it's been state run after state run. As a matter of fact, we have 4 teams this weekend that will be playing the state quarterfinals. We have the Potomac Falls boys, the Region 2 champion. We have the Woodgrove girls, the Region 2 Division 4 champion. They're Division 4, just like Potomac Falls. We have runner-up was the Loudoun County girls, who lost to Woodgrove. It's the 4th time this year those teams have played. Woodgrove owns the series 4 now. And the Loudoun Valley boys that dropped down into Division 3 this year. They finished as runner-up in Region 2 for the 2nd straight year. So that means Loudoun Valley and Loudoun County, the Loudoun Valley boys and Loudoun County girls, will be on the road Saturday in the state playoffs. And Potomac Falls gets to earn yet another date at Robinson High School on Saturday, where they have been playing year after year. We look at the schedule here, and we see that at Robinson, if you head on over to Fairfax County, Robinson High School is right by George Mason. You can catch Potomac Falls versus Chancellor in a state quarterfinal game at 2:45, and then at 4:30, Woodgrove Girls versus Portland. So if you're a Woodgrove Girls fan, show up early. I mean, you're paying the price. Get there at 2:45. Root for the Potomac Falls boys. And if you're a Panther fan on that side, why don't you stay afterwards and root for Woodgrove? I think it's great if Loudoun can push each other and see how far we can go. Loudoun County girls have an 11 a.m. game that morning at Old Dominion University, and they are playing Grafton, the Region 1 champion. I should mention that on those games at Robinson, Chancellor boys and Portland girls are the Region 1 runner-ups. And so County girls are on the road against Grafton. I think it's a game that County has proven that when they play anybody but Woodgrove right now, they're more incapable of winning. The Valley boys, a little bit of a heartbreak for them. Last year they had the higher seed and were hosting in Region 2. They lost to Potomac Falls on their home court. On Saturday night, playing against Hanley, again on their home court, and it was packed in Percival. I was over at the Woodgrove girls game. Started out there, covered that, zipped on over. I drove the speed limit in Percival. You got to be careful on some of those 25s in Percival. I think we all know that. I drove the speed limit over to Loudoun Valley. There was no parking anywhere. People were parking on the tennis court. Actually, nobody was on the tennis court. But people were, you get the idea. The cars were parked all over the place. So I finally found a parking space somewhere down by the McDonald's down there. Walked all the way down. It was like start of the 4th quarter. There was a line outside the door. They had locked the doors, or basically locked people out, saying, fire marshal says we're full. The place is at capacity. No one else can come in. As soon as somebody comes out, then somebody goes in. So there was a line of people waiting to get in. I had my press pass. I might have flashed it. I might have gotten in. I'm going to apologize to those people that were waiting in line. But I think it tells you something that here it was, the start of the 4th quarter. They're still charging, I believe, at the door. And people were waiting to get in still. I got in, but I couldn't even get into the gym necessarily to see the game. The closest I could get was near the popcorn stand. It was pretty good popcorn, by the way. It's a little salty. But I like it. But I'm standing over by the popcorn stand. If you know where the concession stand is there at Loudoun Valley, peeking through the doorway. I'm able to see the scoreboard and see Valley players when they're down on their end. They just fell behind early in this game and could not catch up to Hanley. So they are going to be at VCU, Siegel Center, which is big time, right? Siegel Center is big time. They're going to be there Saturday night, 8:45. So that's in the prime time. But unfortunately, they drew a very tough assignment. They're playing Brunswick, and you probably from the Loudoun area, you might not know a lot about Brunswick. Brunswick is a power in Division III boys. They have won back-to-back state championships in Division III. Well, that's pretty impressive. But they've been to 3 state championships in a row. No, they've been to 4 state championship games in a, wait a minute, 5? Would you believe 5 consecutive championship games in a row? No, they've been to 6. That's right. They lost the first 4 times they went. They were roughly the Minnesota Vikings, a little bit there, Division III basketball. I mean, they shouldn't feel bad. I mean, I don't think the Minnesota Vikings should ever feel bad about being runner-up in the Super Bowl. I mean, you get all the way to the finals. I think it's kind of funny when people talk about, oh, you know, you couldn't win or whatever. They look like Stonebridge football. Okay, they've been to the finals a couple of times here recently and weren't able to win, but you got to the finals. You're final 2 in the state, and they're keeping up against a team like a FIVA's team. So Brunswick got to the finals 4 consecutive years, lost each of those times, hung in there. They won 2 years ago, got that title, and they won last year. So they are the 2-time defending state champion, looking for their 7th consecutive trip. But you know what? Valley is an experienced team, a lot of seniors. Josh Grimard, who was just named first team All-Region today. They have Paul Rowley, who's a junior, who's second team All-Region. And I think they're the type of team that if they play their game, they can win on the road. And they're going to have it's going to be a hostile crowd. I mean, Brunswick is from that area. The Brunswick girls play right before them, so it's going to be a packed crowd. Brunswick fans are going to get a doubleheader there. Loudoun Valley is going to have to, hopefully, as many kids from the jungle, their student section, can show up to the game. Let's talk a little about what the Woodgrove girls game. It was at the start of the game. It was basically a little. I should say it was just a little uglier start in the beginning, is what I should say. It seemed like that Woodgrove was making turnovers that they don't normally make. And we see here, we're looking at Brooke Basinger, one of their best players. She's only a sophomore, and she was the one that got it going for them in the game. She got hot and hit a couple of 3-pointers in the second half. She ended up with 11 points. Sarah Hardison, I think we have a photo here. These are great photos by Gary Sousa, by the way. Sarah Hardison led Woodgrove with just 12 points, but she had 7 rebounds. But early in the game, the first 3 times that Loudoun County and Woodgrove have played this year, and we're going to look at some of these Gary Sousa photos as we talk about it. I should mention that Gary Sousa is not my brother. So yes, my name is Dan Sousa, and it's S-O-U-S-A. Great Portuguese name. The only kind of geese that don't fly, Portuguese. And hold on a second. Apologize about that. I watched Seth MacFarlane last night at the Oscars, so I got some bad jokes in it today. But Gary Sousa, great last name, not my brother, and his photos that he takes are just incredible. I mean, he dials the color in, and this is from talking with other photographers that say, how does he do that? I mean, he's and I think we've got pictures of them from the district tournament here. We also have pictures from just Saturday night. This is a picture of them celebrating right after the game. You see our watermark there, Viva Loudoun on the photo. But, students, if you want to lift the pictures and put them on your Facebook pages, feel free to do it. And parents, if you want to buy them for keepsakes, here's the team after the region championship, feel free to do that too. I'm sure that everybody will appreciate that. So it was a low-scoring game early on. I believe Woodgrove at one point had 15 turnovers, just a quarter and a half in the game, but Loudoun County was just not able to shoot the ball. And if I'm looking at the stats correctly, right here, County of the Night shot 6 out of 36 from the field. Some of that was cold shooting, and some of that's just Woodgrove defense. Woodgrove very aggressive defensively. Woodgrove had a tremendous advantage on the boards. It was 42 rebounds for Woodgrove, 25 for County. I'm an old Pat Riley fan from the Laker days when he used to write on the board for the Lakers. Even though it was Showtime with Magic and everybody, he would write rings, rebounds equals rings. That's all he would put down. Rebounds equals rings. If you want to win a championship ring, then you need to rebound. So anytime you get 17 more rebounds than somebody else, than another team, you're probably going to win that game. Loudoun County was led by Maggie Phillips. She had 9 points, and it was just a low-scoring game. County was held to 2 points in the first quarter, and they only had 9 points at halftime, and yet they only trailed 15-9. And really, it was Brooke, one of the two sisters there that it heated up, and that she had 3 3-pointers, and that was luck too. And her sister Brittany, who's known more for soccer, where she has a scholarship to go play at Penn State, she had 12 rebounds. Brittany, if you've seen her, she's not the tallest player on the court, but she darts around and she gets these rebounds. And so, congratulations to Woodgrove, Loudoun County. Good luck to the Raiders. We'd like to see both teams. It would be great to see a fifth meeting this year. VCU Siegels Center in two weeks. I think that would be fantastic. So we're about halfway through our show here. Let's give a shout out to Cheers Sporting Good, who is a great sponsor of ours. They've been supporting us for years. If you need anything local, you see that they have uniforms, equipment, school jackets. Check them out. And the thing about people that we have as sponsors on Viva Loudoun, I'm never gonna tell people that they should go check out a business or a sponsor if I don't believe in it. I shop at Cheers, and the guys there are great. So I just wanted to let you know that. We talked a little bit about the Boys All District. Let's see if we can throw up this graphic. We're trying a little bit on the graphics. That might be a little sketchy, but it is the Region 2 girls basketball selections. And if my new glasses are working properly, we see Stephanie Purnell from Woodgrove, Maggie Phillips from Loudoun County. There's Brooke from Woodgrove. We've got 3 from Loudoun on the first team. Kayla Tibbs on the second team. And Stephanie Purnell was named the Player of the Year, so congratulations. Kevin Copley, the coach for Woodgrove, was named Coach of the Year. So, tell you what, Woodgrove girls, they won in soccer last year. They won in softball state titles. Can they do it in girls basketball? And might be able to do it. You're on Twitter, and you know what? I know you're on Twitter. And I'm talking to you, Team Anderson. That's right. I'm talking to Team Anderson right now, and this is some of our guys that play in the CLBL, Central Loudoun Basketball League. So Team Anderson, if you guys are watching, if anybody wants to ask questions, just go onto Twitter right now. Use the hashtag AskViva, AskViva. I'm monitoring it right here on the big world headquartered in Ashburns. This is actually, it looks behind me. You can't really tell, but this is something out of really the Starship Enterprise. This is a lot of high technology. So monitoring Twitter. Ask me a question. If you're Team Anderson, you better ask me a question, because I'm giving you guys a lot of love this week. Yeah, actually, that didn't sound right. So I'm not giving you. I'm actually singing your praises. That sounds a little bit better. So hashtag AskViva. Ask me a question. I'll try to answer it. If I ask your question on the air, you will get a Viva Loudoun T-shirt. Viva Loudoun T-shirts. They are something. I mean, there was an auction in New York City the other day. There was 2 Picassos, a Mona Lisa reproduction. There was an antique car, and there was a Viva Loudoun T-shirt. The T-shirt actually went for a higher value than any of the other things. I believe that's true. It may not be true. Well, I also mentioned, we talked about wrestling last week. We finally have a photo gallery up on Viva Loudoun from the Region 2 Wrestling. So if you're a wrestling fan, check it out. And the gallery is saying by me, Dan Sousa, not Gary Sousa. So that's this is the question. I'm gonna have a little bit of water here to take care of what's going on with the head cold. Like I say, we're actually doing this show. We're basically doing this show tonight playing hurt. So take a little bit of water break. I mentioned CLBL. It's Team Anderson, but from what I understand, this is a high school rec team, and these guys are, I guess they are sort of the Cinderella story. They're tearing it up, and I've been going back and forth with them and talking with them. So I said I'd give them a shout out. They're very excited about their basketball season, and why not? It is keeping them off the streets, and I think we can all in Leesburg be happy about this. It's Ian Anderson, Jason Bollinger, John Caffo, hopefully I got that right, Lorenzo Calderon, Drew Davidson, Austin Jones, Derek McGee, Sam Rump, could be a fictitious name, Sebastian Safai, hopefully I got that right. Safai's so good, I don't know. And Ryan Sheehan. Ryan's the one that's been basically threatening the Viva Loudoun Fox if we didn't give a certain amount of shout-outs to Team Anderson. They're playing, I believe, in the semifinals coming up. Smarts Mill on Thursday. Everybody in Loudoun really should be there. But I have it on good authority that Team Huddleston, the team they're facing, is, well, they're out for blood. So Team Huddleston, Team Anderson. And it just goes to show you there's more than just the high school varsity sports ground. There's all levels of sports in Loudoun. And everybody enjoys playing at different levels. As a matter of fact, if you go on the Viva Loudoun Facebook page, I encourage you to do so on Facebook, /Viva Loudoun. Posted a story about a high school basketball team where they had a team manager, a kid with some learning disabilities. And the last game of the season, you've seen these type of things before where the coach decides he's going to suit the kid up. So, that's a feel-good inspirational story he does. And then at the end of the game, his teammates were feeding the ball a couple times, and he gets off these shots and he just misses. And the last time, right as time is running out, he lets one go out of bounds. And he looks pretty, a little distraught that he's upset. But still, it's still a nice story. And there's like, 10 seconds left. And all of a sudden, the kid from the other team who's inbounding the ball to end the game calls out the name of the kid who's the team manager who's suited out and says, hey, the kid turns, he throws the ball. So this is an opponent. He throws the ball to this kid. The kid catches it, shoots, makes it at the buzzer, fans storm the court. I guarantee you, if you go and check this video out on our Facebook page, it's a nice story, and it just reminds us, to me, that's sports are about teamwork. It's about friendships. It's about learning the values of hard work, dedication. Not everything's going to go your way in life, and sometimes you have to stick to it. I mean, not everyone can be 25-0 and playing for state championships. Some of you were with teams that were 5-20, and that's okay too. You learn some lessons from that, and I was with the football team back in California way back. This is before the internet, folks, and I believe we were 1-8-1 or 1-9, and I think I sort of felt like that season more so than the next season when we were 8-2. I kind of knew who my friends were. Those are stuck with us. I kind of felt like, okay, well, those are the fans. So I thought right now we have a little bit of news to talk about. Last week we talked about how they're making changes with the straight red cards for junior high school league. So that's a big change, right? Well, I actually have another change that's coming in, and that's saw today on the Viva Loudoun website that they have done an emergency legislation that's going to take effect for the spring, and they've changed the fighting and biting. And there's this rule all the time that says if you get a red card ejection, obviously you have to sit out the next game. And so this straight red card we talked about last week means that now that players get a straight red card in a game, and that could be for a dangerous thing. You come in with two feet up high, and you slide in from behind, take a kid out. The referee could say, hey, that's a totally unsafe, dangerous play. I'm going to give you a red card. You're ejected from the game. That would mean the next game you would sit out. But if you are caught fighting or biting or even spitting on an opponent, things like this, or at an official, then that's a fighting ejection, and those are 2-game suspensions. Well, they've also added into the language this year that they've said that if you quote, use or direct profanity toward a contest official. So let me read this to you again. If a player is ejected, or if a player is ejected from a VHSL contest who uses or directs profanity towards a contest official, then that player will serve a 2-game suspension. So that's something to think about, high school players. I walk the sidelines. I know that most of your parents think you don't use profanity, but every once in a while, shockingly, I hear a few words that are new to my vocabulary. And so you might just want to, start practicing fudge, sugarfoot, rats, things like that. I don't want to see you have to serve these suspensions. It's not good. You shouldn't be cussing, using profanity out on the field anyway. This is not it's just not something that it's not a good example to set. So that's something that's happening. I would also say check Viva Loudoun out tomorrow night. So this is a little bit of a tease that we're going to go with right now. We have the news about the Potomac Falls coach, Jason Allen. Great hire for Potomac Falls. but we have a tease. There's going to be more coaching news that's going to break tomorrow night, and I think to me this is big coaching news. One of the legendary coaches in my mind, right? A coach that's just been one of the top in their sport. Not going to give any hints away other than that. Is making a change, and we will have it on Viva Loudoun. I think we'll put it up around 5 o'clock maybe tomorrow. It could get up sooner, but just stick around for that. I think you're going to find that very interesting news. And we try to give you as much news as possible. Spring sports is getting underway with practices. There's no games this week, not till basketball on this weekend. But we're gonna have a lot of news and information up, and we try to give you some news of things that's going on around the community. For instance, I saw in the police report this morning from Loudoun County Sheriff's, there's a 16-year-old from Sterling that was in Ashburn driving the wrong way down the road, leading the police on a chase at like 5 o'clock in the morning. So these are interesting things that happen if you're on your morning commute. Weather advice. I just saw something on NBC Weather talking about. Well, for one thing, they have a flood watch out for Loudoun. Now, right now, if you would think it's not really raining, how can there be a flood watch out? But I guess there's some pretty serious weather coming our way tomorrow, talking about rainfall near an inch. So keep an eye on that. Please be safe if you're out there driving around. Last thing we'd like to end tonight with, we also like to have fun on Viva Loudoun. We really do. So let's go. I'd like to go with the trivia contest. So you know what? No one's asked a question yet. That's fine. You had school today. You don't feel like asking questions. No one raised their hand. But let's have a trivia contest. Can you identify who this is in this photo? If you are the first person on Twitter to let us know, you can say at Viva Loudoun and give us your guess. Who is this young man who is holding a pole vault? I will give you a hint. He was a state champion. And if you look at his jersey there, you will see that he went to Parkview High School. And he is currently someone who you know at another high school. So, who's this person from the past? And he's rocking the red satiny shorts, I must say. And if he finds out, there, I put this photo up of him, just complete denial. So if you go out on Twitter, or you can go on Facebook if you want, let us know who that is. We will send you a Viva Loudoun t-shirt. Next week, we'll have a wrap-up for the basketball state quarterfinals. I'll be heading over to Robinson High School to do the doubleheader. Gary Sousa will be there, so we'll have both Sousas in one place. We have been together in one place before this year, so it's not a space-time continuing problem. So the world, will not end up sucked into a black hole because both Sousas are in the same spot. And it also proves to people that we're not the same person and we don't just change identities. So Gary Sousa will be there shooting photos at Robinson High School. Look forward to that. I will be there courtside, checking it out, making notes. I'm sure Carl Luquette, the big cat from Loudoun Times-Mirror, will be there. We look forward to having Carl Luquette. You know what? I give a shout out to our friends in print. We have a good relationship with Loudoun Times-Mirror. I love what they do, and so I think it's great. We're here on the computer, we're on the internet, but you know what? I still love print. I grew up with print. It's great to clip it out and stick it up on the bulletin board. That's next week, and then also next week, since the following week we will be having spring sports getting underway. We'll start doing some spring sports previews where we'll talk about who some of the favorites are to look at for soccer and baseball, tennis, and track and field. And of course, if there's teams that are moving on to the state basketball that week, we will preview their games. So there's a lot going on here in Loudoun. There always is. We have 13 high schools. I just saw where they've approved to have another high school in Ashburn that will be built. That'll be the 14th, and then the Lansdowne High School will come 1 year after that, and so that will be the 15th high school. So within about 3 years here, so I believe it's a year and a half until that other high school that's down near, you know where Stonehill Middle School is, in that area, which is fairly close to the Briar Woods area, kind of sandwiched between Briar Woods and Freedom. So that'll be the 14th high school. Lansdowne will get the 15th high school, and we'll be here covering all the stuff. So this is Dan Sousa with Viva Loudoun Live. Check us out on Twitter. Check us out on Facebook and let us know. And if you remember, once again, if you can tell us who this fine young man is, excuse me, let us know, and we will give you a Viva Loudoun t-shirt. We'll see you next week.